What I've seen is that many people who work out, they don't need to rest the next day. People think that I'm overtraining. If smoking was allowed indoors, they'll be and then because the protocol is rest the next day, they go and rest the next day. What's happening? My name is Albert. Welcome to another hang with this 61-year-old. And it's a special hang. This hang is a swinging hang while I'm twisting with force. It's incredible, and I'm going to elaborate when I do it. And so I am going to touch on this topic. The thumbnail, it asks a question, which is, can you work out every day? My answer is, I don't know, man. How can I know if I don't know you? I don't know how old you are. I don't know your fitness capabilities. I don't know your goals. But the general response is, oh no, you need to rest, without knowing what you did. And so this topic, I'm going to dive into deeper, because we just leave it there with the expected answer. Should you work out every day? Oh no, you need to rest. I'm going to dive in deeper, but first, I'm going to do a straight up dead hang so that I can time it to see how long I hang regularly for before I do the swinging stuff. So let's get to it. 1, 2, 3. And so I don't know how long I hung for, but I added a timer, which I'll find out later. And so I'm curious, did I pass my 1 minute and 24 second hang? That's the longest I ever hung for. I'm gonna find out. And so, okay, so this topic here, this is the problem, man. We have this tendency to hear the things that the fitness industry provides us with. For example, this much protein, you need protein for muscle, protein, and then we repeat that. And work out, the body splits, and next thing you know, you're saying body splits through each body part. So whatever they're saying, we are repeating. And another thing that's being repeated is every time you work out, you need to rest the next day. And I'm taking a look at that because I don't know what that means, because I'm not you. And so what I've seen is that many people who work out, they don't need to rest the next day. And why? Because I see them at the gym like this, and then they're outside smoking a cigarette. Luckily that there's no cigarette smoking allowed inside, because if smoking was allowed indoors, they'll be and then because the protocol is rest the next day, they go and rest the next day. And so there's no answer. That's my point. And this is important for me to discuss for myself, because it's important for me to know how to work out. Now, if you ask me if I could work out every day, the answer for me is yes. The reason why is because I'll work it out that way. I've been working out long enough to know how I could work out every day. And I have enough muscles, 600 plus muscles, where I could divide different things. And so, for example, Monday, if I do legs and I decide to go light, then the next day I could go heavy with legs. Or I could not do legs if I went too heavy, and then do chest, shoulders, biceps. And then the next day I could do core. And then the next day I could do cardio. And then the next day I could go back to legs with shoulders or triceps. The difference is, the certain person that needs to rest the next day needs to rest because they have to rest. They have to rest, not because it's the protocol telling them. For example, Dorian Yates is a very well-known bodybuilder who won Mr. Olympia maybe 8 times. When that guy exercises, he needs to rest. And he said it. The way he exercises, he needs to rest 3 days. He can't sit in the toilet. He can't move. He really needs to rest. Now, that's him. But most people, they could work out the next day, but the protocol says rest. You have to rest. You have to rest. So I'm going to tell you this quick story before I do the swinging dead hang. A really good example is that while I was going to the gym, I have my own gym now, but when I was going to the gym, I used to see this girl sitting down like this with maybe 1 kg weights. And she's just doing this. Granted, it's none of my business. But every time I went, I saw her there sitting and she's like this. And then she's on the phone like this. And, you know, at the gym, you expect to see progress when you're there 3 months and you're around people. You start to see. And you start to get this thing of who's there, who goes often, the people who are serious. And so after 3 months, I just decided to tell a friend of mine, you know, this girl just sits there and she just does this all the time and I see no progress. And his answer was, well, at least she's doing something. Which means he substantiates that garbage of just doing anything because it's better than nothing, even though nothing is happening. And so here's my point with this girl. This girl tells a friend, oh yeah, I just came from the gym. And her friend automatically does the automated mechanical response of, oh, so tomorrow you're off, right? Because you need to rest. And she goes, yeah. That's the kicker right here. That's the twist. That it's just a spiel that's going on where people just, oh, you need to rest, exercise. You can't exercise every day because you need to rest, but that's all verbal nonsense because no one knows the intensity, how much, what they're doing, and if they really need to take a break, which I'm going to talk about the indicators after my swing and dead hang. The swing and dead hang ain't that long because I'm going to be swinging, bro. So the indicators are so important because without this indicator, you're just blindly just copying and repeating the automated mechanical verbal response that was fostered onto you. And so let's get to it. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, that feels so freaking awesome. The freaking swinging, twisting, dead hang. The twisted, swinging, dead hang. I have to find a name for it because I've never seen anyone do this, bro. But let me tell you, my lower back gets such a nice stretch. I hear it popping. And my lats get an extra stretch because I'm swinging this way, my core is getting an extra stretch, and as you can see, I have to prop to my feet and then do the forceful swing again, which I don't think is fair to time the swinging dead hangs, because I guess it's called an action swinging dead hang. It's an action swinging twisted dead hang. And so there are certain indicators that we ought to go by to decide whether we should continue to work out, which means the next day, right? I work out today. How do I know I'm going to work out tomorrow or not? Well, I don't know. That's the key. Like, how can I know? I have to first do what I'm doing, and then tomorrow go, oh man, and then make a decision based on that. And so now, for example, right, I do biceps, right? I kill the biceps, right? And my biceps the next day, right, they're so freaking sore. Now, when I wake up in the morning, that's a portion of the soreness, because by the afternoon, more soreness kicks in. And then sometimes later in the evening, more soreness kicks in. Now, that soreness level will be the indicator to determine whether I should do more upper body workouts, which the answer now doesn't need to come from me. The answer is already said through my body, like I can't do it. So it doesn't require a verbal response, like, oh, you need to relax, you need to rest. No, I can't. And so now what I do is that I go, okay, here's another key, another factor. It's not that sore, so yeah, then I could do more biceps. It's medium sore, so I have to fill it out. Maybe I could go lighter, or I could do some other type of exercises that does involve biceps, but not as much. Or I could do legs and just bypass the biceps and do legs, do core, do back, do triceps. There's so many other parts. And so that is determined by my system, not by the protocol. And so now here's another freaking key right here. Sometimes I beat up my biceps so badly and they're so sore that I can't do anything whatsoever. I cannot work out whatsoever. Why? Because the movement itself, like if I was to do jumping, it hurts. So I can't do anything. Same thing with abs. There's some times where I work my abs and it doesn't interfere with any other type of workout. Sometimes I work out my abs to the point they're so sore I cannot do anything at all. So that came from my system, not from a protocol, not from, oh, you should rest. So the idea of resting is a guess when it comes to, okay, I did exercise, and so I should rest the next day and then assume that I'm going to build muscle. Now, here's the key for that. When anyone ever starts to work out, and you start to work out under that type of protocol where you say, I want to build a nice physique, I want to be slim and firm, and I want to see muscle. Now, you shouldn't go by anything for at least 2 to 3 months to see how you're responding. Because this is the reason why I see so many people out there. I'm at gyms, man. I spent a lot of time at gyms, and I'm seeing people and they can't build muscle. And they don't build muscles because they're following those protocols. They're doing a little bit of this, and then they're taking the next day off, and they don't check. They're not seeing, like, okay, I should have put something on by 2 months. I'm taking creatine, I'm eating more protein, I'm doing all the things to feed myself, and okay, I'm losing weight, that's good, but I'm not seeing what I want to see. And so what the hell is wrong? And it probably has a lot to do with the rules that you're following. Because if you follow the rules of rest the next day when you don't have to, you probably could have went so much harder or worked out the next day to prime it. Because there's something called priming where I work out the biceps and they're kind of sore, and the next day I go in and I freaking rock them again. And then I see them grow. And so if you can see, I have the muscle, and so I'm responding. And so you can't do it by thought, which is what's happening out there. You know, you Monday's chest, and then Tuesday you're off, and then Wednesday is pull day, and then you Thursday you're off, and then Friday is leg day. And then cardio is somewhere in between. And you're leaving it like that for 3 months, and then you're not seeing any results, and you're wondering why. I'll tell you why. You should have worked out Tuesday with this hard, and then Thursday work hard around it, because you didn't freaking maximize it. And so some people say soreness is not an indicator. Yes, it is. For me, it's an indicator, because the soreness means that the muscle got it. It means that it freaking broke down. The soreness makes me feel like, wow, something broke down. I just feel it. And so otherwise, I don't know. If you say you don't need to feel soreness to build muscles, well, I still don't know. But for me, the soreness, I know. And so we're stuck there again with verbalization. And so I'm going to do another twisting dead hang. And then I'm going to talk about overtraining. You overtrain, bro. Don't overtrain. So let's get to it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, baby. All right, so overtraining. Let's talk about overtraining. This is very important for me, because sometimes people tell me or think that I'm overtraining because they see me post, and to them they're saying this guy's working out too much, and they consider that I'm overtraining. And so that, once again, is them just repeating the protocol. They're not asking me. And so my answer is that no, I'm not overtraining, because to tell you the truth, I don't know what overtraining is, because my body responds and I listen to my body accordingly. So I've never overtrained. The closest I ever get to while working out, which is an indicator for me to stop, is that I gag. I'm working out, I'm pushing it, and I'm in heavy intensity, and I go, ugh. I don't think that's overtraining, because I could work out the next day and I don't see it affecting anything that I can visually see or say, yeah, that was because I overtrained. Overtrain seems to be just a statement that people seem to just utter because they didn't feel so good after something. They exercised and maybe they got a headache or something and they said I overtrained. Or the next day they feel a little bit off or something's going on and they go, yeah, because yesterday I overtrained. But it can't be verified. I don't know what overtraining is. The guys that ought to answer that question will be the bodybuilders. Those are the only guys that I know that really go ahead and push themselves to the max. Those guys are really pushing, and you have to ask that guy. Arnold Schwarzenegger said he liked to be a little bit overtrained because he responded better. That was his answer. But he also said that Lou Ferrigno, he did not respond well to overtraining. So you see, that answer needs to be responded by the guys who have an answer. I don't overtrain. The way I train is based on the way I feel. So if Monday I go heavy, then Tuesday I'm gonna go lighter. It's just obvious. And then if I go heavy with legs, or if I do something that causes soreness, then what I do is that I lighten up. Now that's another thing that people don't ask. They see me with weights. They don't ask how much is that weight. And when you work out tomorrow, is it lighter? Because the answer is yes. I do drop the lows so that when I'm feeling like, oh wow, like right now is the perfect time for me to indulge in this topic while doing a dead hang. I'm not, maybe this is considered a workout because I have to use strength to hold my entire body while I'm hanging and I'm swinging. It could be considered a workout, but this is a perfect example of how I split things up. And why? Because I did such an Anatoly mop at a 42 pounds and I'm freaking pumping this mop, bro. And so my chest is sore, my biceps are sore, my triceps are even sore, and my lats are sore from doing this with a mop, bro. I'm lifting the mop like this and I'm entirely sore. And so now I cannot go ahead and do that Anatoly mop workout. I can't. But I know that. No one has to tell me. And that's what I'm trying to convey. If you need someone to tell you to rest and you don't have the proper answer, like you worked out real hard and you can't even sit on your toilet because your legs are so sore. Do I have to tell you to rest? Do I have to tell you? You see what I'm saying? It's like self-explanatory, this whole freaking garbage of the things that we're doing with protocols that are forced onto us. Because they're all forced, man. There's a whole bunch of workout gimmicks. I had a few to say and I forgot them. But there's a whole bunch, man. And we freaking just spew them. And we believe them without even working out or without doing them. I'm listening to people that they're not even working out and they're talking about split days and you need to do this and that. Whatever the spiel is, because they, it's so loud. The voices are so loud, like no pain, no gain. That was so loud that it's easy for anyone to say that. Oh, no pain, no gain. So rest time is contingent upon what I did to my system to decide whether it's appropriate for me to work out the next day. In my case, I could work out every single day, given a few aspects that I don't bust out a muscle and that I need to really rest the next day, which happens from time to time. But generally, I could work out every single day without any problem. That's me. I don't know. That's it. And so I'm going to do another swinging dead hang and then talk about the fitness jargon, the mess that's out there that's going to work real well within what I'm talking about. So let's get to it. 1, 2, 3. That felt awesome, man. One more. So, you know what? Right here, right? I feel a little soreness in my lower back, which that is such a nice thing to notice. And so here, I may need to point to the Anatoly mop because I'm holding the mop up this way and it's putting pressure on my lower back. And so I felt it while doing this hang, which is really nice because there's a lot of times where someone hurts their back and they don't know it, but they never did anything to feel the little indicator, and then they go and they work out and they finish it off. And so this is really important. So you see, all these little aspects that help so much for me to engage in, to make sure I'm constantly doing a dead hang. I get to really feel a lot of what's going on. Just the popping of the bones and all that stuff. It tells me a little story. And so now, the fitness jargon is what's making things a little bit more confusing for all of us. And I have my notes here written down here so that I can talk about what the fitness jargon sounds like. The fitness jargon does go heavy and all out. That sounds good, right? But at the same time, they say lightweight builds muscle. I say mix them up already. Go heavy, go light. Don't pick just one. But the way they do it, they try to get you to only pick one. Like, yeah, go heavy, go max for 6 and stuff like that if you want to build strength. And then if you want muscle, you have to do the 12 or the 15. And then the other guy goes, go light. And you really bust out the muscle and you do sets of 30. And so they're already causing a confusion between trying to pick one if you're one that thinks that you need to pick one. But I'm saying don't pick one, pick both. Do both. One day go heavy and some other time next week you go real light just to see. And then within a 2-month span, you take a look. If you take your pictures and you take a look at your muscle and you see if there's more, or if someone tells you, wow, look at your arms. Then you got another source saying all you need is 1 set. I forgot his name. I think it's Mike Mensa. He says just do 1 set. So you have that family of people saying all you need is 1 set, bro. I heard don't stretch because you lose strength. And so that's the bodybuilding arena too. But I'm looking at the baseball players and I'm seeing them in the back before the game starts and they're all stretching. So maybe stretching for sports, no stretching because you lose strength. So you see what's happening here? I'm going to get to a really important point. Another source says that exercising ages you, which I totally ignore because if it does or it doesn't, I love fitness, so I'm going to do fitness. I'm not going to stop. Oh yeah, let me stop because it ages me. So that's no here or there, but maybe there's someone now that hears that and doesn't do anything at all. And you may need to exercise because your bones and your muscles need to move. And you could be doing yourself an injustice by hearing that and going, oh, you see, exercise ages you, so I'm not going to exercise. I'm not that stupid. And in the long run, you end up 50 or 60 and you can't even walk 2 blocks without huffing and puffing. So you have to figure that one out for yourself. And so then that same source says to work out once a month in that case. Because if muscle ages you and you work out all the time, then you're going to cause yourself the aging issue. So just work out once a month. And so what I wanted to point out is that these guys that do this, they take all the fun out of exercising. Exercising where we should feel optimal is our free time. It's time for us to take care of us. And we're at the gym taking care of our bodies. It should at least be fun. I just heard someone say that they hate the gym so much. That is a terrible thing to bring to the table when exercising pertains to you. It pertains to us. It pertains to how we feel, our focus, our clarity. The certain thing that overcomes me when I'm exercising, where I feel so good and I look forward to exercising and I make it fun. Therefore, when it's fun, I have no problem doing it again. And so I do not struggle with exercising. The worst you could do is try to iron out the mess that's there and make heads or tails and then choose one. I'm saying, look, if you have 10 years to exercise, let's pretend all you had was 10 years to exercise. How many days is that? Why subject yourself to one exercise with heavyweight or lightweight or a style of exercising? Here, there's no style or nothing. I'm not a bodybuilder. This is not a bodybuilding channel. This is not a calisthenics channel. This is not a CrossFit channel. This is a Bruce Lee channel. Bruce Lee adapted all martial art forms. He took it on. He said, I'm going to mix this with this, jiu-jitsu, I'm going to do this, and kung fu, and I'm going to kick low, and I'm going to kick high, and I'm going to do boxing, I'm going to bob and weave, and I'm going to throw backhands, and I'm going to do all kinds of stuff, and he mixes everything up. So this is a Bruce Lee channel. So I'm going to do a straight hang now. 1, 2, 3. Wow, my wrist, I felt it all here and all here. The straight dead hang is different from the swinging dead hang. It's just different. Okay, so let's see. The other thing that we hear is people saying, oh yeah, man, I just worked out 2 hours at the gym. Or, oh yeah, man, I just worked out 3 hours at the gym. Oh yeah, man, I just worked out 5 hours at the gym. Okay, now, 2 answers. Answer number 1, go, wow. The other answer is, oh, you better rest tomorrow because, 5 hours at the gym, you don't want to overtrain, and they'll start talking and get into a conversation about that without even asking. Wait a minute. You worked out 5 hours, what did you do? Because 5 hours is a heck of a long time, man. 3 hours is a heck of a long time. I have a workout that in 5 minutes you're done, bro. You can't do anymore, bro. So you're talking to someone that is really, really thinking. I'm putting my thinking cap on to say, what are you doing at the gym for 3 hours? I'll tell you what you're doing at the gym. You're setting up the phone and stuff like that, and you're freaking waiting for your corner and stuff like that, and you get the mat and all that stuff and your towel, and you go to the bathroom, and record a workout, and then you go nicely and you can record and you do this, and then after the workout you look, oh, let me do it again. Oh, good, you're working out twice, and you do it again, get a really good one, and then you work it out and you post it on TikTok, right? And then you go ahead and you do another workout, and then you see your friend outside, and you go, oh, let me say hi to Susie. You go downstairs and you talk for a while, right? And you drink a little water outside, and you end up sitting down because now you're in a conversation. Then you go and you maybe do a little legs and stuff like that, and then you go and you check your social media to see how many likes you got from the post you just posted. That's what happened within the 3 hours. Except the serious guys that, even them, the serious guys that are there for 3 or 5 hours, it's a hangout. Gyms are hangouts now. And so they're going for multiple reasons. It's like, mini church. You go, you work out, and then you mingle and you talk to your friends. And so, so what should I do now? I'm going to do my last swinging, hanging, forehead, whatever the hell it's called, bro. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's it. Oh my God, I just hurt my toe. It's okay. Yo, baby. So that's the swinging dead hang with the twist. I am done. It feels fantastic, like I got a massage. And so I'm going to get to the last bit, which is that the boss of everything is the intelligence of this body, not the mind. You have to cut that out. That is all the mind, the power of the mind. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and use the power of the mind and lift more than you can. And when your shoulder and you can't exercise for 6 months, then there's the power of the mind right there. You asked for it, you wanted the power of the mind, you got it. But the body is first. The body calls the shots. If you hurt your system within the way you train, and your hip or your knee or your neck or your elbows or your wrists, then that's it, bro. You're through, bro. You see it all the time. People running more than they should, and they shatter bones in their feet. They freaking end up busting out their knees or their hips or their back, and so many things go out. And why? Because they never listen to their bodies. When you ever listen to these guys who injure themselves, there was always an indicator. There's some bodybuilders that will lift heavy and they say, yeah, I heard a snap. And what they do, they go, and I continued anyway. Go ahead. So the body is first. The body has to be first. So it's a big mistake to say, oh, the mind comes first. If you put the mind first and the body can't cooperate and it can't do the amount that you're thinking with your mind, then you're going to hurt yourself. And so that's very important when it comes to how you can work out and what way you can work out, how long you ought to work out, how heavy you ought to lift. That has to be answered by you. I can't answer that for anyone. And I freak out how people could answer that for you. How in the world can someone just make a statement, a bold statement to tell you what you can and what you can't do, and then you go, okay, yeah. That'll always bug me out because you have to figure out your own capabilities and your skills and the amount of strength that you carry. Anyway, so this workout, this swinging, twisted, dead hang comes to a close, and until the next one, I am done.